Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the news from Saba Satellite Channel. Let's begin with the headlines.
President Al-Alimi announces successful camp handover, calls for unity and national responsibility.
New Aden governor sworn in. President sets priorities for security and development.
Israeli forces violate Gaza ceasefire with renewed air and artillery strikes.
Welcome back and to the details. Dr. Rashad Mohammed Al-Alimi, President of the Presidential Leadership Council and Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, announced on Saturday the full success of the military camp handover process in Hadramaut, Al-Mahra, the temporary capital Aden, and other liberated governorates. In a televised address to the nation, President Al-Alimi called on all Yemenis to unite ranks, exercise wisdom, and mobilize all efforts towards restoring state institutions and ending the coup by the Iran-backed Houthi militias. The President also announced the formation of a Supreme Military Committee under the leadership of the Saudi-led coalition, tasked with preparing, equipping, and commanding all military formations in readiness for the next phase should the Houthi militias reject peaceful solutions. The President Al-Alimi reaffirmed that the southern issue remains a top priority, confirming full support for the outcomes of the inclusive Southern Dialogue to be held under the patronage of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. He urged those who strayed from the state path to surrender weapons, return looted property, and rejoin the national fold, while reaffirming Yemen's commitment to regional and international partnership in combating terrorism, securing maritime routes, and preserving stability.
Abdulrahman Al-Yafi'i was sworn in on Saturday before Dr. Rashad Al-Alimi, President of the Presidential Leadership Council, following his appointment as Minister of State and Governor of Aden in the presence of Prime Minister Salim bin Breik. Following the oath ceremony, President Al-Alimi met with the new governor to review priorities for the next phase, particularly after the successful handover of military camps. He also emphasized the need to unify security decision-making, strengthen the role of the Security Committee in Aden, and ensure that weapons remain exclusively in the hands of the state. He also called for promoting tolerance, social cohesion, facilitating humanitarian operations, improving public services, especially electricity, and creating an attractive environment for investment, expressing confidence in the new governor's ability to restore Aden's role as a key commercial and economic hub.
Dr. Rashad Al-Alimi, President of the Presidential Leadership Council, met today with the head of the Supreme Judicial Council, Mohsen Talib, along with senior judicial officials, including the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, the Minister of Justice, and the Public Prosecutor. During the meeting, President Al-Alimi received a briefing on the performance of the judiciary, cases under review, and the role of judicial institutions in strengthening state authority in enforcing the rule of law. The President praised the resilience and achievements of the judicial authority, stressing the need for a strong, independent, and impartial judiciary capable of swiftly adjudicating citizens' cases, including violations against public institutions and property. President Al-Alimi reaffirmed the state's full commitment to the separation of the powers and non-interference in judicial affairs, emphasizing the judiciary's central role in combating impunity, safeguarding rights and freedoms, and preserving the legal standing of the state.
The Republic of Yemen participated today in the emergency session of the Council of Foreign Ministers of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation held in Jeddah with delegation headed by the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Expatriates, Shaya Al-Zindani. The session is discussing developments in the Federal Republic of Somalia following Israel's recognition of the so-called Somaliland region in the independent state. Yemen's participation reaffirms its firm and principled position in full support of of Somalia's sovereignty, unity, and territorial integrity, and its categorical rejection of any unilateral measures that contradicted international law and the United Nations Charter and threatened regional security and stability. Minister Zindani is scheduled to deliver Yemen's address to meeting outlining the country's position on the latest developments.
Hadramaut Governor and Chairman of the Security Committee, Salim Al-Khambashi, has stressed the importance of unifying efforts and reinforcing military discipline to preserve security and stability across the governorate. During a meeting of the military and security commanders, Al-Khambashi praised the role of security forces in combating terrorism and protecting national gains, while reaffirming the local authorities' support for enhancing their capabilities. The meeting reviewed the security situation in the coastal and valley areas of Hadramaut and discussed ways to improve coordination among military and security formations. The governor called for the rapid completion of a joint operations room, urged Hadrami elite forces personnel to return to their units, and emphasized merit-based appointments. Officials from the 2nd Military Region and the Saudi-led coalition reiterated their commitment to supporting security and stability in Hadramaut.
Minister of Foreign Affairs and Expatriates has announced the completion of the evacuation of foreign tourists stranded on Socotra Island to Jeddah through 4 flights operated by Yemeni Airways. In a statement received by the Yemeni news agency Saba, the ministry said that a total of 609 tourists, various nationalities, were transported in coordination with relevant authorities in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and a direct coordination with the embassies of the tourist countries. The ministry praised Yemeni Airways for its efforts in ensuring the success of the operation and facilitating evacuation procedures.
Yemen's permanent representative to the United Nations, Abdullah Saadi, discussed the situation in Yemen and recent developments in the Eastern Governorates with the Charge d'Affaires of the permanent member states of the United Nations Security Council. In separate meetings with representatives from the United States, United Kingdom, China, and France, Ambassador Saadi outlined the efforts of the Presidential Leadership Council and the Yemeni government to strengthen security and stability. He praised the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for responding to the request of Dr. Rashad Al-Alimi to host and sponsor a comprehensive conference for dialogue on the southern issue, describing the move as reflecting Saudi Arabia's continued support for Yemen's security and stability. The meeting also addressed the mandate of the United Nations mission to support the Hudaydah Agreement amid ongoing consultations on a draft Security Council resolution. Ambassador Saadi reaffirmed the Yemeni leadership's commitment to supporting regional and international efforts aimed at achieving peace, restoring state institutions, and fulfilling the aspirations of the Yemeni people for security, stability, and development.
Israeli occupation forces have continued to violate the ceasefire agreement in the Gaza Strip, renewing air and artillery attacks across several areas of the evacuate. According to the Palestinian News and Information Agency Wafa, Israeli forces positioned in eastern Gaza City opened machine gun fire east Al-Tufah neighborhood, while Israeli Apache helicopters fire east of Jabalia in the north. At the same time, Israeli aircraft struck a house east of Deir al-Balah in central Gaza. Gunfire from Israeli military vehicles was also reported north and west of Rafah and east of Khan Yunis in the southern part of the Strip.
Nationwide demonstrations continue across Iran as growing public anger over economic hardship turns into open political dissent. Demonstrators raged in the streets of Iran into Saturday morning, defying an escalating crackdown by authorities against the growing protest movement. Protests, which began in late December, have spread to multiple major cities including Tehran, Shiraz, and Qom, with chants calling for sweeping change amid soaring inflation and the collapse of the living conditions. Reports from rights groups and international media say security forces have responded with live fire, mass arrests, and intensified crackdowns, as authorities also imposed heavy restrictions on internet and mobile services. widely seen as an effort to block footage from reaching the outside world. At the demonstrations, spread rights groups are urging the release of detainees and the protection of civilians, warning the country could be heading toward further escalation. For continuous updates, stay with Saba Satellite Channel. Thank you for watching and have a good time.
Have a good time.